Hello everyone. We are Rekha and Shivyogi, coached by Venkatesh and Malvika and mentored by Prashant and Kapila. So today I would be covering on hair fall, which is very quite popular and very common among the most of the population in India. And you just pick up any random people and one or the other people, they would be either suffering from type of hair fall, and they would be of course worried, and many people have many different solutions also. If you just google about hair fall, you will find thousands of google pages, and of course on youtube and any other internet sites you can feel it, but everybody knows many things, but they don't know what actually is required for their particular issue, because hair fall is such a wide category that you cannot stick on to one particular reason that okay, because of this the person is having a hair fall. So it has a numerous different reasons, you can say, because of which hair fall occurs. So today we will just try to gain maximum amount of knowledge from which you can do the consultations, which will be benefiting for your business as well. So when before you are actually doing a consultation for the person, you have to have little bit a bigger picture and overview about the categories of a hair fall. Okay, so when you talk to a person, you need to have a list of questionnaire before actually talking about any solution or remedies for the person. Okay, so when it comes to asking questions, you should normally start with the person's family history and the medical history as well. Why I ask family history is because certain things are linked with your heredity also, and depends upon your age, and something called medical history, which will clearly tell about the reason which can be linked for the hair fall, because there are many other factors responsible for the hair fall, because of internal and external factors of body. Asking about this, then you can ask certainly whether you had taken any treatment for it, and what happened if the treatment was good, or whether it was not worthy enough, how much did you spend enough, all those things, and since how long you have been having this kind of hair fall problem. Because normally what happens is people when they start realizing that they have having a hair fall, it becomes quite a little bit more time, because you cannot suddenly tell that tomorrow I get a hair fall and you say that oh, I am having a hair fall. It's not like that. It takes some time to experience that you are having a hair fall, like maybe seeing a lot of broken hairs when you get up in the morning or on your pillow, or when you wash your hair you get a lot of hair breakages. You can see in your washroom when you take a shower, junk of hairs fallen. So these are the small symptoms which you can see, and then you can realize that okay, the person is having a little bit of hair fall. So what we can do, and why this hair fall happens? Basically, hair fall can be categorized into various types of issues, like person suffering from root fall. I can say like from the roots itself, the hairs get starting falling. Also because of hair thinning, people like having long hairs, or like I can say women and all, they start experience hair thinning. They can feel it, and they come to know that the hair thinning is happening. Some people suffer with a hair density problem. Suppose there is certain patches in our total scalp where hairs start dropping off, and it's only in certain areas, and you see hair density is getting less on that area. So that may be also the reason. And some people get hair breakages, like hair is breaking down in the middle, so it's not a complete from the root getting down, so it's that also. And people also suffer from dandruff, and which is also again linked with the hair fall. So there are many I can say factors for the hair fall. Now why this happens? again, as I said, since the types of hair falls are different, so the reasons for also these type of hair falls are very different. So suppose if you take, as I said, medical history or any kind of physical trauma has been suffering by the person, like any recent surgery, especially in women when they are in after pregnancy, and also if any major surgeries happen or any major illness like typhoid, jaundice, and people even if they are suffering from hypothyroidism or anemia. So these are the kind of things or the factors which you can gather, and you can make an observation that because of these also there is a reason that you may tend to lose your hair. And lot of thing depends upon your nutrition, I can say. Majority of the youngsters, if you see in today's scenario, a lot many youngsters even at the age of 20 they start getting a hair fall. Maybe it is a woman or man, both they start getting a hair fall. So with this, it is not anything related to their kind of big thing, but yeah, it's definitely shows that they do not, at the young age, you do not have much of the problems. You do not have any kind of medical issues or at that age. But of course, nutrition can be a big factor. So majority of the youngsters, they suffer from the reason because of the lack of nutrition. And when it comes to heredity, you can not do any much thing about it, because if the hair baldness has been in your genes, like your forefather or your grandfathers or your father, then of course you may tend to have it. So that we cannot actually reduce it much, but we can certainly give a remedy for it. Now, if I talk about other things like physical stress, as again the working people, they suffer from a lot of physical stress at the workplace, and also the pollution, you can say. So these are the again contributing factor which may result in hair fall. So you need to consider all these in a broader view, and you should be able to narrow down the factors responsible for that particular person whom you are consulting. Some of the changes which I can tell about like diet and nutrition and the lifestyle is that many people, yes, of course, they, if you observe, they kind of use different hair creams or hair gels or hair treatments, irrespective of whether they know about it in detail or not. Like they go to some parlors, hair spa, all those things. So you should be very careful in choosing all those things. You should be having a good knowledge and take a good advice from where to consult about these kind of things, because what happens when you are applying these kind of creams and hair gels, they have harsh chemicals into them, which you do not know because you are not studied about them. So of course it affects on the long term. And also women or men use hair dryers or hair blowers and all those kind of new stuffs for hair dressing. So you should be very careful because they may also cause some kind of reasons. Particularly in terms of nutrition, I can say when it comes to hair fall, the more important thing is protein rich diet. You need to be very careful in consuming a good quality of protein food like eggs, maybe fish, all this kind of other protein sources, which will be very helpful for your maintaining a normal growth of your hair. Also, you should be having a very good exposure to kind of different good kind of exercises for hair and scalp, like scalp massage you should be diving, and also the applying oils regularly, washing it cleanly, taking care of good health of your hairs, and also a little bit prevent yourself from getting exposed to very heavy UV rays or pollution, all those things. Okay, with this, all these things in mind, if I want to suggest the supplements for the various types of hair falls, I would like to tell first a very important supplement which is very powerful when it comes to hair consultation, that is called Nutrilites biotin cherry. So why biotin cherry is, if you just Google about it, the various benefits of biotin, one of the prominent factors which it is famous is for because it helps in producing a very essential protein called keratin, which is very much important for your hair growth. So, because of which it is very important when it comes to hair growth and hair breakage, all those things. So, if you want to prevent a person who is having a hair breakage, you should certainly suggest a biotin cherry at first place, and it should be normally taken at least 2 tablets. I can say 2 capsules a day, one in the morning, one in the evening. Similarly, as I mentioned about nutrition and diet, so of course you in today's world with the normal food you cannot get complete nutrition. That's why we recommend to have a very organic and overall supplementation of micronutrients, which we get in the form of daily Neutralite Jelly. It contains a tablet which has almost 13 vitamins and 11 minerals in a single tablet, which if you take, it's very important. It will take a total nutrient value. And along with it, as I told, keratin is very important for your hair growth, and that protein is very essential. So the basic protein source which we should recommend and rely on is called all plant protein. If you take at least 2 scoops daily, one in the morning, one in the evening, it will be very much good to maintain your daily protein diet. Normally, like why I say this, because your scalp is also on a skin. So our skin is basically a biggest organ. So it has to also breathe properly. Like the skin, if it breathes properly, then you will have a very good nourishment, and the quality of skin will be good. So our scalp and the hairs are on our scalp skin. So for that you need to have a very proper nourishment for it. And that's why we recommend all-plant protein and daily for this. And of course we cannot forget about salmon omega. So we know salmon omega is such a powerful antioxidant, and it is very much helpful for its variety of benefits when it comes to even hair fall. So when I can say it directly affects our growth of hair follicles, it is very beneficial to control the hair density lessening. Hair follicles in the sense like when we, if you, for example, if I take an example of a tree, when you have a small seed to grow it, that's when it starts budding and it turns into plant, then into big tree. With proper nutrients all over external and internal. Similarly, if you take care of your follicles at the very start of your this thing, then it will certainly lead to a good hair quality. Also, I should recommend one more product which is very powerful when it comes to effects of hair thinning, like especially in women, also in men. People suffer when they have hair thinning issues. So we should recommend scalp tonic. You should apply at least twice a day and wash after shower, and it will be very beneficial for this. So at the last I can tell you example of a tree. If your tree roots are very strong, and if you have a proper nutrition for the tree like sunlight, watering, and all the fertilizers if you have, then your tree will be very dense, green, and it will be bigger. And suppose if you don't take care of your tree when it is small, when it is seeding and when it is growing, if you don't provide it with the proper nutrients, it would not last for long, and it will be like a very deserted tree kind of thing. So remember this example, and it will be very helpful in consultation. And yes, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.